Ashish, at the Australian embassy, I believe in the national capital, they would be a little disappointed. They really had India on the mat for a bit with those 3 early wickets, Yash.
Well, absolutely, Shivani. There is a little bit of disappointment here. And in fact, I'm being joined by Mr. Tom and Mr. Carlo, who are the first secretaries here at the Australian Embassy. First match is gone. What is the feeling?
Look, it was still a great match. Obviously, when I sort of looked and saw 199, thought we were probably gone. But then 3 for 6, I think, at the beginning there. Hazelwood did great, but Kohli came in and great innings from Kohli. So, look, the best team won on the day, but looking forward to the next one, and we'll see how we go.
Well, it wasn't a great start for Australia. When Australian side started bowling, it wasn't that great, but it was actually quite great. But eventually the match came in the kitty of India. What do you think Australian team needs to do better when they get on the field next time?
Well, I think what we saw today was how effective India was with 3 spin bowlers in the lineup, and how Australia was quite exposed, I think. And yeah, I mean, Jadeja, I can't remember how many wickets he took in the end, but he killed it. And I think for Australia, we play South Africa next, I think, and then Lucknow. And I think that's going to be a real test. As we saw, 3 South Africans last night made centuries. And then India obviously plays Pakistan in Ahmedabad. So I think for India, I mean, the next match is the big test for them.
Carlo, when we spoke before the match, you picked up your top 5 favourites, and in fact, all of them performed really well. What about that?
I mean, what can I say? I read my cricket notes very well, but I think I think obviously tonight we saw. I mean, Jadeja, I didn't mention him. I should have mentioned him earlier. Clearly, I should have mentioned some more spin bowlers, but no, I think Sharma. I think obviously it wasn't his night. But Kohli, and I think it really showed the depth in the middle order for India. I think that's what India could take away from this.
Shivani, you just heard how excitement is there at Chennai and in fact across the country. The fans are also here, and in fact they are elated. But they say the boys, the Australian team could have performed better, and in fact they're hoping for better performance from the Australian side the very next time.
Well, we did see glimpses of why this is a side to never take lightly. Guem, there's a reason catches win matches, right? I mean, Virat Kohli was dropped at 12 after India being down a hole by 3 wickets, and anything could have happened from there on. Do you also feel that, as Jimmy Paji was saying, maybe Australia missed a trick? They could have kept their pacers on for a little bit longer?
No, I will never understand why, if you've got someone by the throat in a game of cricket, you suddenly change and put a spinner on, just because the spinners bowled so well for India, and they were brilliant. But that's the strength of the Indian side. Australia had 1 chance in this game, and that was quick early wickets, and they took 3 wickets straight away. I don't care what you say, I've got no issue with the way the top 4 batted. They were going for their shots, getting off to a good start. You're only ever an inch away from crunching it for 4. So Ishan Kishan, Shreyas Iyer, they shouldn't have too much thrown their way. When you've got such strength behind you, you can be afforded that luxury of trying to play shots. But Australia taking those 3 wickets and then taking their foot off the pedal, so to speak, not being ruthless. That's an Australia that I'm not familiar with. It's certainly not the Australia that I used to play against. I think it just shows that this Indian team is now so dominant and so scary for other teams to play, that Australia were reluctant to be as ruthless as they always have been in the past. They had that game for the taking with those 3 early wickets, and then the ball in the air from Virat Kohli. You don't drop the king. What are you thinking, boys? And from that moment on, it was just an absolute masterclass. And what I liked about the Indian innings from that point on, KL Rahul, Virat Kohli, that was good, old-fashioned, sensible batting. When they needed to put their foot down, they did. They just played very straight, very late against the spin, against the leggy Zampa in particular. KL Rahul was magnificent. He was hitting it almost out of the keeper's gloves, picking his gaps behind square. That is how you bat on a turning pitch. I won't have anyone say that was a bad wicket. It was a tough wicket, but it was a very good wicket because it offered something for the seamers, something for the spinners, and 2 guys nearly got 100. So magnificent from India. An 11 out of 10 performance after that start.
Yes, this is the kind of first match that gives you a lot of confidence, because it's exactly the middle order that was crumbling for us a little bit. And Rohit Sharma has said this in the past that I want the middle order to be prepared for a 10 for 3 kind of a situation. It was actually much worse today. It was 2 for 3 and 2 of those runs were actually leg bys. Nobody got on the scoreboard with the bat when we lost 3 wickets. So it is the kind of performance that is going to give the Indian team a lot of confidence that we can get out of these holes. I'm going to talk about, of course, the bowlers that set it up for India. But when it comes to Australia, when it comes to a chase, when it comes to India, it is all about Virat Kohli all the time. INDvsAUS, our group sports editor, is also joining us. What a knock from Virat Kohli once again. The build-up hasn't really focused on him because a lot of the attention has been on Shubman Gill, the hottest batsman for India right now. But when it comes crunch time, it is always Virat Kohli.
All right, Shivani, I can't hear you properly, but I'm assuming the question is about Virat Kohli and the chase, from whatever I could understand.
Yes.
And if
Yes.
I'm audible here, yes. If I'm audible here, then, well, I mean, nothing could augur better for India at this point in time than the man at number 3 coming back to plot a chase. It's unfortunate that both of them, fell short of what could have been a remarkable milestone, but then the bandwidth of the chase wasn't that much. But in whatever they managed to do, the beauty of the chase was of today's innings was that they've got back into the rhythm of a 50-over chase, and nobody in this world is better than that guy, Virat Kohli, to actually kind of lead India when batting second. His record speaks for himself. Not that batting first is any lesser for him, but then batting second, that chase under lights, Virat getting it right. There could be no better music to India and Rohit Sharma's ears right now. And I think that was the most pleasant thing to watch. And I'm just loving the confidence that KL Rahul is oozing, and these two guys are gelling together, which we saw in the match against Pakistan also. And now what we saw was a repeat. When those 3 wickets fell, initially there was a fear, and it took some time for them to settle down. But the moment they settled down, they saw off another 2 overs after those 3 quick wickets. Those 2 overs that they saw off, and then the strokes just started coming in. You could see the smoothness settling in. Some of the cover drives, oh, exquisite, absolutely exquisite. So I think the touch was always there. It's this early wobble that kind of made them a little more. They had to be a little more careful. But again, I mean, these two guys, number 3, number 5. What better news can it be for India? By the way, also, since we are on the subject, this should give India stop order 1, 2, 4, whoever fell cheaply, to please understand that you need to respect the opposition here. You're not just facing any random opposition. You're facing the best pace attack in the world. You're facing Mitchell Stark, and what are those kind of shots that you were trying to play out there? So I hopefully even that is a lesson, and even that should go well for India as a batting line.
Well, lots of learning certainly. Overall, though, I do want Jimmy Paji to also come in on the word on Virat Kohli. I don't know how many times we've said this, Kamat's the hour, Kamat's the man, but seriously, Virat Kohli, with the wealth of experience he has, and especially that chasing, and so much work went into that chase today. For a good 20 overs, they weren't really doing much. They were just getting those singles, which the Aussies failed to do actually in those middle overs. They got completely choked. But the Indian batsmen, both Virat Kohli and KL Rahul, ensured they continue to rotate that strike.
Yes, Shivani, I see Viv Richard, Ricky Ponting and Virat Kohli in one Virat Kohli over here. So, so he's such a fantastic player. He's gone through, he's seen it all. He knows how to plan it, how to go about it. And I think what I like about him, when he goes and he doesn't think about anything else except playing his normal game. And he adjusts to the situation and the condition, whatever it is. So he's a champion player, and he has done it in the past, and I'm sure he'll keep doing that in this World Cup also. So that is the strength of Virat Kohli. He doesn't shy away from playing shots or take a risk when it's necessary. And I think at the other end, KL Rahul was an ideal partner for him, calm and collective, like in all that thing, when you have two guys playing like that, they're very fit guys, they run well between the wickets and don't miss any opportunity.